In 1922, a series of fires and strange activity broke out spontaneously on a desolate Nova Scotian farm, causing widespread focus on the paranormal happenings behind the arson. The story of the Fire Spook begins at the home of Alexander and Mary MacDonald and their 16-year-old adopted daughter, Mary Ellen. This took place on a small farmhouse located in Caledon Mills, Nova Scotia. In January of 1922, a fire started in part of their house. Oddly, it was not near the fireplace or the wood stove. Once extinguished, another erupted in an empty room at the other end of the home. The family was totally puzzled. Other fires materialized mysteriously. It did not take long for the family to realize there was something unnatural occurring. With the help of their neighbors, they began to guard the house, hoping to catch an intruding arsonist. Fires continued to appear out of nowhere, but no arsonist was ever caught. In total, there were 30 unexplained fires that took place in the farmhouse. Prior to the fires, a number of odd events reportedly took place in MacDonald's barn. They would find ashes and stored milk. Livestock would be found with their tails braided, moved into different stalls, and on more than one occasion were reportedly found locked outside the barn in a state of considerable agitation. Soon the family was persuaded to leave the home while the local authorities investigated. When word of the mysteries got out, reporters arrived to get the scoop. Even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was invited to the investigation. Once the family moved out of the house, journalists and would-be paranormal investigators moved in. Some of the most notable accounts included those of two reporters and the police detective Peachy Carroll, who spent 2 nights in the house. During this time, they both experienced several odd events, including the feeling of being slapped on the arm and face by phantom hands. Carroll, who had more to lose when it came to his reputation, also openly admitted that the farm was haunted. One of the people invited to investigate the strange occurrence was Walter Prince, research officer for the American Society of Psychiatric Research. He accepted the invitation and traveled to Caledon Mills to investigate the case. In the cases he investigated, Dr. Prince's findings were always considered the final word. Because of his high standing, Harold Whidden, who had initially brought the case to the world's attention, accompanied Prince during the part of his investigation, which lasted 3 weeks from late February to mid-March. He spent 6 of these days at the farm. Whidden noted that Prince went about his investigation in odd ways. He seemed more concerned about the cold than the haunting. He spent the first day he arrived in arranging a comfortable room for himself. He demanded privacy. He insisted that no one could stay at the farm with him during his investigation, without an invitation including the MacDonald family, which left a sour impression. He did invite the MacDonald family at one point, hoping they would trigger the activity. He also included Whidden, who while in the farmhouse felt the same sensations he had during his own investigation with Detective Corll. At one point, Dr. Prince, Dan Gilvery, a neighbor of MacDonald's, and the 3 MacDonalds all witnessed Whidden walk across the room appearing to be in a trance. He demanded a pencil and scribbled on bits of paper for over 2 hours. He seemed to be possessed by the poltergeist that wrote a confession he had set the fires. Right after, Prince agreed with his conclusion. Before he arrived, he had already made up his mind. He believed the activity was a poltergeist that was attached to the MacDonald's 16-year-old foster daughter, Mary Ellen. But when he presented his findings, they were a complete turnabout from what he proclaimed. Prince concluded that the mysterious fires and alleged poltergeist phenomena was caused by Mary Ellen in a disassociated state. Prince had discovered inflammable liquid and noted that the fires were undoubtedly set by human hands, judging by the mistake signs left in the house. The burns are never found on the wallpaper higher than the reach of a person of 5 feet tall, which sets the height of the girl in the family. In his statement, Mary Ellen defended herself passionately. She accused Dr. Prince of fibbing. She stated, "I've never set fires. I've never untied the cattle in the barn. I never plaited the tails of horses. I would never have been afraid to. First they claim I had a boyfriend, a sweetheart, who did it. Now they say I did it. I tell you I don't care who Dr. Prince is. He ought to be ashamed of himself." Shortly after this interview, Dr. Prince labeled it just another fake, stating that Mary Ellen he'd met would have not have been able to make this statement, for she had a mind of a 4-year-old. However, to those who knew Mary Ellen, she was a teen of normal intelligence that was known to have a bright smile and a happy disposition. He tempered his report by stating that she was probably possessed or sleepwalking when these fires were set, so she was most likely unaware of her actions. As for Whitten's and Carol's previous experiences in the house, he stated that they were extremely cold and probably just hallucinating. He also denied seeing Whitten do the automatic writing and never directly addressed the strange phenomena with the cattle and horses, like the fact that MacDonald's livestock always escaped within seconds of the farmer securing them, or that many of the fires started when no one was in the farmhouse. Dr. Prince did, however, report unexplained rapping noises in his office back in New York for several weeks after he completed his investigation into the Caledonia Mills spook farm. The MacDonald family moved back to the farm just months afterwards. All was calm all throughout the summer, but the following October, the fire started as suddenly and incomprehensibly as before. Word spread quickly the Fire Spook was back, and the newspapers now dubbed the teenage girl Mary Ellen Fire Spook. This time there was no sympathy for the family, and police officers who were not local showed up at the farm. They had come for Mary Ellen. According to some accounts, she was placed in Nova Scotia Home for Insane, located in Dartmouth. She was even confined for many years. H.B. Whitten, so troubled by his experiences that he never published them in his lifetime, though they have since been released to his family. In describing his experience as well as his and Carol's prior experience while spending the night in MacDonald's house with Detective Carl and Alex MacDonald, the contents of the alleged spirit message were to confirm the spontaneous fires were caused by spirits, that spirits do visit the earth after death, and that God endowed such spirits with a limitless lifespan. The story of Mary Ellen Spooks has many variations, but all involve some form of arson occurring at the Caledonia Mills farm. Legend has it that there was a man who was seeking shelter late at night, and so sought help from the owners of the farm. They denied him. Thus he cursed their adopted daughter and disappeared. In the following years, Mary Ellen would be known to go into trances, with odd things happening while she was charmed. Sometimes the animals would go into a craze while she was in this demeanor. Other times her father would go downstairs to see a fire lit where there wasn't one before. The accumulation of the story is a plethora of house and barn fires that only ended when Mary Ellen moved away from the farm. Many of the fires were known to start where there was no oven or pit, meaning no chance of an accidental flame erupting. Arson or not, the Caledonian Mills legend persists. Even today, long after the farm and house have disappeared, people say that if you take home any item of the property, your house will be burned down.